From being super rich to being super broke is a story for a lot of pop stars. While many have gotten back on their feet again and learned a lot, many others haven't. From their poor decisions and choices to being an addict, there are several reasons for why their lives turned upside down, majorly for which they are responsible. Selling millions of albums and getting millions of views might get you rich, but being financially literate is important too. All of these pop stars learn a very hard way. Here are 6 pop stars that went completely broke. Number 6. T-Pain. Mid-2000s was ruled by him. I mean, turning on the radio and not listening to his song was hard. Natively from Florida, he was one of the hottest names in the hip-hop industry at the time. And if that doesn't make him great, he even won a couple of Grammys during his peak. Now with a lot of success in his career, you might be thinking, how did he make it to this list? Well, he didn't make strong financial decisions, which cost him a lot. In a radio interview, he mentioned how he went from $40 million in his bank to literally asking for money to feed his children. Though he was made himself financially stable now, he did mention how from being super rich to being super broke taught him a lot in his life and learned the value of money. Number 5. David Crosby. In the 60s to 70s, if you ask what's synonym of Rick Roll, David Crosby was one of the top names. He got his first breakthrough in the 1960s after he became a member of the group Byrds. Before he became a superstar of the group, Cosby, Stills, and Nash, unfortunately, Crosby was a hardcore drug user and was arrested several times due to drugs, possession of weapons, driving under the influence, and even a hit and run. If that wasn't enough, he also entered into the addiction of alcohol, cocaine, and heroin. He mentioned that he spent millions on his addictions, which made him bankrupt, and he was like that for many, many years. Number 4. TLC. Landing top in the Billboard charts, that too for 4 times within 6 years, this 90s girl group were very, very popular, and their hit chartbusters brought them to the fame that they deserved. And wealth, right? Yeah, not the wealth part. Even though they were selling millions of albums, they didn't receive the wealth they deserved. Being the top group and still not having the wealth, something went very, very wrong. So, what went wrong? Well, upon inspection, it was noticed that huge medical bills, insurances, and bad deals with the manager and record labels had made them completely broke. They had to borrow money to go and file a bankruptcy. That's how much broke they were, with a debt of over $3.5 million. Sadly, one of their founding members of the group died in 2002 due to a car accident. Number 3. Keisha. With the 10 top 10 singles to her name, with one of them being the best-selling digital singles ever in the world at the time, it's easy to assume how rich she was and successful she became. But lawsuits never come cheap, do they? Legal battles drain your bank account like nothing, and Keisha felt this a lot. Her much-publicized lawsuit against her former producer, Dr. Luke, drained her bank account a lot. So much that she had to accept $250,000 from Taylor Swift just to cover her legal fees. Even though facing so much, she never lost her magic voice and topped the Billboard 200 chart with her self-funded 3rd album, Rainbow, and on top of that, it was certified gold by Recording Industry Association of America just after 4 months of its release. Number 2. 50 Cent. 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy in 2015 with a debt of over $30 million. The rapper, who never failed to stack money for his music video, had a debt this huge. Now there are major factors what made 50 Cent go super broke, with first being his lifestyle. Reportedly, his lifestyle expense every month was $100,000. Second, he was ordered to pay Advanta Lefsiston a whopping $5 million for illegally releasing a sex tape of her online. Third, he screwed with his ex-business partner, which led to the federal judge ordering him to pay $17 million. $17 million! And if that wasn't bad enough for him, filing a lawsuit against her own lawyers for millions took it all. Well, one lesson he definitely learned: don't mess with your ex. Number 1. MC Hammer. The rise and fall of MC Hammer is a life lesson for many. He got the much needed fame in the 90s with his album, and suddenly he was rich. With a net worth of $33 million, Hammer jumped to fulfilling his lavish lifestyle. With a mansion, unique and expensive items, and with a staff of 200 people, he was living it all. He also had a lot of lawsuits against him, and not long enough, MC Hammer filed for bankruptcy in 1996 with no less than a debt of $10 million. These were just a few of the pop stars that created a life for them, only to lose it all, either due to their addictions, or lawsuits, or a lavish lifestyle.